I need advice from fellow Redditors about my complicated situation. I'm Marcus, 37M, and this story begins in early 2022, but I need to provide some background first. I met Rachel, 35F, during college in 2011. We were both business majors, and she sat next to me in economics class. After graduation, we dated for 2 years before getting married in 2013. My father owned a small electronics repair shop that he started in the 1980s. He taught me everything about electronics since I was young, and I worked there throughout high school and college. When he passed away in 2015 from a heart attack, I inherited the business. It wasn't making huge profits, but it provided a comfortable living for our family. Rachel worked at a local daycare center called Sunshine Kids. She started as an assistant teacher in 2016 and seemed to love working with children. Our daughter Lily, 8F, was born in 2014, and we enrolled her in the same daycare where Rachel worked when she turned 2. Everything seemed perfect until January 2022. I started experiencing severe back pain and unexplained weight loss in late 2021. I ignored it initially, thinking it was stress from work. Rachel kept urging me to see a doctor, but I was too busy with the holiday rush at the shop. Finally, in January 2022, the pain became unbearable, and I went to the hospital. After numerous tests and a biopsy, I was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave me 6 months to live. The diagnosis hit us hard financially. My health insurance covered some expenses, but the co-pays and experimental treatments quickly drained our savings. I had to reduce my hours at the shop, and eventually stopped working altogether as the chemotherapy took its toll. We had to hire someone to manage the shop, which further reduced our income. Rachel's behavior changed drastically after my diagnosis. She stopped sleeping in our bedroom, claiming my night sweats from chemo bothered her. She began spending more time at work and with her friends. When I asked her to accompany me to chemotherapy sessions, she always had excuses about work commitments or Lily's activities. My older sister Maria, 42F, lived in another state and worked as a marketing executive. When she learned about Rachel's behavior, she immediately took a leave of absence and moved in with us. Maria had always been protective of me since we lost our mother to breast cancer when I was 12. She used her savings to help with my medical bills and took care of me during the worst days of chemo. 3 months into my treatment, Rachel handed me divorce papers. I was throwing up in the bathroom after a particularly rough chemo session when she slid them under the door. She said she couldn't watch another person die of cancer after losing her own father to lung cancer years ago. She also mentioned needing to secure Lily's future since I would be gone soon. The papers included her petition for full custody due to my medical condition. I was too weak to fight and sign the papers. Maria was furious and called Rachel every name in the book, but I asked her to let it go. I didn't want my last months to be filled with legal battles. The divorce was finalized quickly since I didn't contest anything. A month later, Maria's friend Kelly, 39F, who also worked at Sunshine Kids, revealed that Rachel had been dating William, 45M, the daycare owner. Kelly witnessed them getting close during lunch breaks and staff meetings over the past few months. Within weeks of our divorce, Rachel and Lily moved into William's house in the expensive part of town. Then something unexpected happened. My oncologist, Dr. Chen, selected me for an experimental drug trial. The treatment was brutal, but by December 2022, my cancer was in remission. The medical team called it a miracle, as this type of pancreatic cancer usually has a very low survival rate. During my recovery, I received news that my Uncle Thomas, 68M, had passed away in Australia. Uncle Thomas moved to Australia in his 20s and built a successful chain of electronic stores. He never married or had children, and we kept in touch through video calls every month. He left his entire estate to me, including his business empire worth millions. I tried maintaining a relationship with Lily throughout this period, but Rachel made it increasingly difficult. She would cancel planned visits claiming Lily had homework or was sick. When I did manage to pick up Lily from their house, William would stand in the doorway with his arms crossed, rushing us along. Last week, Rachel appeared at my office unannounced. She looked nothing like the polished, confident woman who left me. Her hair was unstyled, she had dark circles under her eyes, and she had lost weight. She broke down crying, saying she regretted leaving me and wanted another chance for Lily's sake. I don't know how to handle this situation. My heart says to maintain distance, but I'm worried about how this affects Lily. Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1. Thank you everyone for your supportive comments and messages. The past month has been intense, and I have a lot to share. After reading your advice, I decided to fight for more time with Lily instead of considering Rachel's reconciliation attempt. I contacted several lawyers and hired Michelle, a family law specialist with experience in similar cases. During our first meeting, she pointed out that my improved health condition and financial stability made me an excellent candidate for joint custody. We filed the paperwork immediately. During the discovery phase, we uncovered several surprising details. Kelly, who still worked at Sunshine Kids, provided a detailed affidavit about Rachel and William's relationship. She had saved texts from Rachel dating back to October 2021, where Rachel complained about me working too much at the repair shop and praised William's ambitious business plans. This was 3 months before my cancer diagnosis. We also discovered that William had fired Rachel 6 months ago after a heated argument. Rachel had been pretending to go to work each morning but was actually job hunting. She hadn't told her parents or friends about losing her job. Several former employees came forward revealing that William had a pattern of dating his employees and then firing them when things went sour. The custody investigation revealed more troubling information. Lily's teacher noticed behavioral changes over the past year. My daughter went from being an outgoing, happy child to becoming withdrawn and anxious. The teacher documented incidents where Lily came to school without lunch because William said they needed to cut expenses. Kelly also shared security camera footage from the daycare showing William aggressively yelling at staff members, including Rachel. When the court-appointed guardian ad litem interviewed Lily, she revealed that William often screamed at her for small things like leaving toys on the floor or making too much noise during his important business calls. Rachel fought the custody modification initially, claiming I was trying to punish her. However, her position weakened when William refused to appear for his scheduled court interview. My lawyer discovered he had multiple complaints from parents about mismanagement of daycare funds. The judge granted me joint custody, with Lily staying at my house every alternate week. Maria helped me set up a beautiful bedroom for Lily, decorated with her favorite anime characters. We converted the home office into a playroom where she could do her homework and play video games. Rachel didn't handle the custody decision well. She started showing up at my house at random hours, sometimes at midnight, begging to talk. During one visit, she admitted that William had pressured her to leave me after my diagnosis, promising her a better life. She claimed she was scared of ending up a young widow with a child and no financial security. I recorded all these conversations following my lawyer's advice. After the 5th unannounced visit, Michelle sent Rachel a formal warning letter. Rachel's response was to start calling my sister at her workplace, trying to convince Maria to speak on her behalf. The situation remains tense, but Lily seems happier with the new arrangement. She's slowly opening up about her time at William's house, and some of her revelations are concerning. I've scheduled a meeting with my lawyer to discuss our next steps. Update 2. The situation has taken several dramatic turns in the past 2 weeks. I received a frantic call from Rachel's mother Barbara, 58F, late one night. William had kicked Rachel out after discovering text messages she sent me about wanting to reconcile. She's now living in her old bedroom at her parents' house. Some context about Rachel's parents, Barbara and Richard, 60M, never approved of our marriage. They wanted Rachel to marry into money and often compared me to her wealthy cousin's husbands. When I started the electronics repair shop after my father's death, Richard called it a dead-end job at our Christmas dinner. After my cancer diagnosis, they supported Rachel's decision to leave me, saying she needed someone more financially stable for Lily's future. Now they're singing a different tune. Barbara called me multiple times, explaining how Rachel was young and confused when she left me. Richard even stopped by my shop, awkwardly attempting to discuss water under the bridge and asking about potential job openings in my expanding business. During Lily's recent stays with me, she revealed more about life with Rachel and William. Apparently, William had a gambling problem and often spent entire weekends at a casino 2 hours away. He would return angry and take it out on Rachel, throwing things and screaming about money. Lily said she would hide in her room with headphones on during these episodes. William's financial problems were worse than anyone knew. He had mortgaged the daycare building to cover gambling debts. When parents started withdrawing their kids due to staff turnover and neglect, he pressured Rachel to approach me for investment money. This explained her sudden appearance at my office and talk about reconciliation. I've been attending a cancer survivor support group to help process everything that happened. That's where I met Rebecca, 36F, a breast cancer survivor who runs a non-profit helping cancer patients with daily tasks like grocery shopping and house cleaning. We connected over our shared experiences and started having coffee after group meetings. Rebecca lost her husband during her cancer treatment, but for different reasons. He was a firefighter who died in the line of duty. She understands the complexity of relationships affected by serious illness. We've been seeing each other for about a month now, taking things very slowly. Rachel found out about Rebecca through Lily, who mentioned how Rebecca helped her bake cookies for a school event. Rachel showed up at my office again, this time angry rather than apologetic. She said I had no right to bring random women around our daughter. When I asked her about William's presence in Lily's life, she threw a potted plant at my desk and had to be escorted out by security. The incident was captured on office security cameras. My lawyer is now preparing restraining order paperwork. We're also documenting everything for a potential modification of the custody arrangement. Update 3. It's been a challenging month since my last update. The restraining order against Rachel was granted after she attempted to break into my house at 2 a.m. She was intoxicated and crying about how everything was falling apart. My security cameras caught her trying to climb through Lily's bedroom window. Thankfully, Lily was staying at my sister's house that night because Maria wanted to take her shopping the next morning. The police arrived quickly and found empty wine bottles in Rachel's car. They also discovered printed copies of my business financial records and bank statements in her trunk. After questioning, Rachel admitted that William had asked her to gather information about my assets for a potential lawsuit. He planned to claim that my inheritance technically belonged to Lily since it came from her great-uncle. This incident prompted a thorough investigation into William's activities. His daycare's financial records showed years of mismanagement and potential fraud. Several parents had paid for annual memberships just weeks before he announced the daycare's closure. The police are now investigating whether he knew the business was failing when he accepted these payments. When the daycare shut down, many disturbing stories emerged. Former employees came forward with allegations of bounced paychecks and unsafe conditions for children. One teacher revealed that William often used the daycare's funds to cover his gambling losses, leaving them without basic supplies like diapers and snacks. Rachel's parents finally showed their true colors again. After the break-in incident, they blamed me for flaunting my new relationship and driving Rachel to desperation. Barbara even contacted local newspapers trying to plant stories about how I abandoned my family during my illness. Fortunately, the journalists reached out to me for comment, and my lawyer provided them with court documents showing the true timeline of events. The custody situation has changed significantly. Following the break-in attempt and the revelations about William's planned lawsuit, my lawyer filed for emergency custody modification. The judge granted me temporary full custody with Rachel receiving supervised visitation twice monthly at a family center. Lily has been seeing a child counselor to process everything. During these sessions, she revealed more about the emotional abuse she witnessed at William's house. The counselor's report was instrumental in the judge's decision to modify custody. Rebecca has been incredibly supportive throughout this chaos. She helps Lily with homework and introduced her to art therapy, something that helped Rebecca's own children cope with their father's death. However, we're still taking our relationship slowly, focusing primarily on creating a stable environment for Lily. Maria continues to be our rock. She's officially become my business partner, managing our newly opened locations while I focus on the original shop and Lily. Her marketing expertise has helped us expand faster than I expected. A small part of me feels pity for Rachel, watching her life unravel like this. But then I remember those months of lying alone in a hospital bed, thinking I was dying, while she built a new life with William. Some betrayals can't be undone, no matter how much someone claims to regret them. Life is settling into a new normal. Lily's grades are improving, and she started taking karate classes. I'm still cancer-free, though the fear of recurrence never quite leaves. Most importantly, I've learned that sometimes losing what you thought you needed makes room for something better. I won't be updating this post again. Thank you all for your support and advice throughout this journey. Your comments helped me stand firm when I was tempted to give Rachel another chance, and for that, I'll always be grateful.